Hey everyone, welcome to the Mastermind Book Club. Another book review is underway. What is the name of this book? The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Martha, what is the name of the author?
Marie Kondo,
Marie Kondo is from
Japanese.
Japanese, and
Mhm.
she is amazing the way that she portrays this book. It really does assist us with life. And here we're going to go over some summary, very quick summary points in reference to this book. Now, Martha, since I have you here, is there anything specific that you remember about this book? 1 or 2 minutes briefly of what impacted you.
Yes, for me, I use Feng Shui. Feng Shui is another Japanese art. They talk about
Yes.
wind and water. And this is something new for me called, she say the success for people, they have to be a mindset. You have to clear your mindset to be able to be success in life and have a clear mind what do you want. And he talking about it's so important to have a house. It's not cluttery. A house had to be organized. So she applied the methods called Kamori methods. And she's very smart because she created, I think it's created by her, and she have 4 rules in the Kamori methods. The first rules imagine your real life. She say,
Admire your real life. Yes.
imagine your real life. Put it into your mind. What do you want for you? How do you want to see your house? How do you want to live? How do you want to be in the future? And that's the first rule. And the second rule, tidy in one go. So check your mind and think it, what do you want in one go? What would you really complete tie your mind, tie their mind, tidying their mind. And the third rules is tidy by category.
Tidying by
No,
category. Yes.
category, no by location. That's mean that you put everything you want it tightened in category, like books, clothes, teacups, everything has to be in category. And then after that, you have everything in piles. You decide which one you want to put it away.
Correct.
And then she say, something is sparking, something in joy for you, you keep it. And then other ones, you put it away. When you put it away, you give it some love. That way you don't feel so bad. When you leave something, I don't want this. You give it love, I say, I'm leaving, I put it here, I don't want it anymore. And you don't feel like you want to cry and tears because it's emotional. Sometimes we have things
Yes.
we want to keep it for any reason, for memories, for something special, maybe your grandmother's stuff or something that sometimes we keep it things like that. And to say that you give it love, you put it away, and you spark in joy, you keep it. And the last part of the 4 rules, as that's where it spark joy. That's as
Say
I
that
said
again.
before,
Ask.
as does is spark joy.
Does it spark joy? Ask.
Yeah,
Does it spark joy? Okay.
that's spark
It's very
joy.
similar to the previous one.
Yeah, it's similar to you keeping whatever you made you happy, whatever
Yes.
have a good memories for you, is sentimental for you, and you touch the material to say touch and feel it. How did you feel? Do you love it? You wanted to keep it? You want to put it away? You feel good in that? It's just a clothes. You feel good. How do you feel? Um, and then it is very powerful. It's very
Yes, it
powerful
is.
for me.
Yes.
It's important because I use feng shui in my own house, and I want my house be sparkly every single day. I can't live in mess house.
It's a habit
I have to
and
be
it's not overnight. It's a
my
habit and it's
house
not
to be
overnight.
neat.
Yes.
I work
Yes.
every day a little she says another thing that she say, you don't have to do everything one day. You can do a bedroom one day, you can do the bathroom one day, you can do a clothes one day. So go little by little and organize and put everything in piles and wherever you decide to put it away.
All
And then,
right. Thank you, Martha. Martha, let's give
and then
someone else a chance.
you have a neat
I know
house.
you're very excited. You have a lot of information in reference to this book, as
I know.
usual, but we want to give some of the other members a chance so that way we can
I'm
cover
sorry.
their views as well.
I'm
uh,
sorry.
let's see, Reggie or Charles, would you like to have your minute or two
I'm gonna just
input?
go here while Cara stopped here real quick and give you a quick rundown of what I got from the
Yes,
book.
go ahead.
Um, Basically, I enjoyed what she was saying. It brought me back to the memorization of some of the goals I had early. One of the good things in my life is that I'm very organized, and one of the bad things in life is I'm very organized. So when she made the comment about, you put things in order just to tear them apart,
Yes,
that really struck home for me.
yes,
Also, the part of what Martha was saying, how you have your house in a certain order. So like a Vincewa way, where it flows for you.
yes.
Uh, like being able to take control of your floor space was one of the things she's mentioned in the book. That everything shouldn't be taking up your floor space or even your counter space when you're cooking, to put the seasonings and the condiments up so they don't get greasy from the cooking. And then she even mentioned about turning your closets, like using your closet, putting extra shelves or or racks in your closet space to make it more neat, more organized. So the book was very intriguing in that fashion.
Got it. Thank you, Charles. That's a great summary. Thank you, as well as Martha. Reg, anything to add in reference to this book?
Always something to add for sure. Thanks, guys, for starting out. When I listened to this book, the first thing I thought of is my boy Stuart Wow, who's my boy I listen to a lot, and he was talking about once upon a time, he passed away some years ago, not too long ago, about a friend who said basically if you had stuff in your possession that you didn't touch for 6 months, it's dead energy. Get rid of it. So
Yes.
that was the thing. So I think about how does that relate to this, and in context of like all the stuff that we have. And if you notice, the world has become a place whereby a lot of people put things in storage. So as we haven't learned how to get rid of things, right? We have so many things in our possession, which ultimately is dead energy and it's holding us down, it's holding us back. And it's the very thing that if we will, allow some of that stuff to leave us, it will give us a chance to basically to become free. So we're held down by all these possessions, which will think, oh, we're going to get back to, I'm going to wear that shirt. I'm going to read that book. I'm going to get into that closet and grab some of those things. We never do it, right? And then we just keep accumulating until we're just a mess of stuff. And if you think about it, especially as you like leave the earth, your stuff just becomes somebody else's problem. So that's another thing I think of, because when my mom passed, she had all this stuff and we kept it in storage. Where we kept it in storage for 6 or so many years, it was like $15,000 plus of dollars that we spent on storage, until
Wow.
my sister was like, I'm not paying anymore, because she was paying more than the rest of us. I was the executor essentially of the stuff, that particular stuff. And I just basically talked to the people at the storage place, and I took it downstairs, and they have like what they call a green room, and they allowed me to just put most of it down there, which was basically open season to people who want to just come and take it. But it was just stuff. It was just sitting there. So it was dead, So this is the thing. We have a lot of dead stuff that's not helping us. One other thing I think about as relates to this real quick is the 2080 rule, right? The fact that we probably only really using 20% of this stuff, the Pareto
Of,
principle,
of
right?
clothing and so on. Yeah, you're right.
Is in use. And so how much does that leave us that's not in use? 80%, if not more. So get rid of it. You're never going to look at it again. The old books, the old, birthday cards, the old report cards that you're keeping. And it's leading me to think, because I'm actually on a project right now too, as part of, just my other project of reading a bunch of books about wealth. And one of the books on is Think and Grow Rich. And within that project, I thought, well, you know what? Let me couple that with some other thing, as I'm always adding new habits and things of that nature. So I was like, you know what? As I'm doing this thing and I'm building wealth, well, that may be stymied by some of this crap in my life, right? So now what does that mean? Let me get rid of some what I'll deem garbage, as I'm trying to accumulate on the one hand the stuff that I want, I need to lift out the stuff that I don't need, right? So this book is perfect timing for that. Is put a thought in my head to get rid of stuff so that I can actually get the right stuff in, right? So this is how I'll sum up my my contribution tonight.
Thank you, Reg. What you said is true. I remember the same thoughts of that same author, and it's amazing how they overlap. And that's the reality that this past weekend we went through, that a lot of people take tits, little pieces, bits and pieces of each other's work, and then they formulate their own. And I believe that's what's happening here as well. So just basically, how do we fit in tidying up into our personal lives? Number one, you have choices. You can either buy everything that you see, or you can give away half of what you have in your wardrobe. I've seen people hoarding. You've heard of it. I've seen people as minimalists. My cousin's minimalist, and it's easier said than done because she's reverted back to having way too much stuff in her home. And I just spoke to her today. And she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe I used to be a minimalist. Now I'm back to hoarding." And that can happen. And how do you apply that to your business? Well, if you have a business and you're not focused on the latest product, or you're not focused on learning let's say the marketing side or the inventory side and so on, then you're not focused. You're not making the choice. And you have to learn one thing at a time. You can't juggle everything. You might have to hire someone to be the person who gets through to that. As well as choices, you can put things into categories, but then, as Charles said, you might have too much organization, so much organization that you have an overlapping of things within your home. Let's say you have too many papers, and who doesn't want to get rid of papers? I didn't want to get rid of papers. Now I just get rid of most of the papers. We don't need that much paperwork anymore. I just got rid of a lot of junk that I was hoarding for a few years, stuff that I thought I'd need in case of an emergency. But the truth is, I can get it at the hardware store whenever I really, really need it. So I'm trying to get rid of a lot of things at home. And this book comes in handy because I've already been practicing this for several months in cleaning out my space. One, two, making the choices that I need to make in order to take care of my family, take care of my business, take care of my friends, take care of this mastermind group, and so on, and investing. And the reality is that most of us have way too many choices, and we haven't figured out how to delegate those choices. As I've said before, maybe you need to hire someone for an hour or two, just like Tony Robbins started without having money, just like I started when I didn't have much money. And that way you delegate some of the work that you have to do. Maybe it's laundry, doing your laundry. Maybe it's organizing your paperwork. Maybe it's accounting, whatever it is. But something has got to happen. Now, the big question, as Martha said, which she said it twice for different categories, but everything in your life, everything, whether you're posting, whether you're getting a business started, whether you're looking to invest, you've got to ask yourself one question. Usually that question is, does this spark joy in my life? Does it bring love? Does it bring wealth? Does it bring health? Just to give you a few. You need to be able to ask that question before you post. On this weekend where Terry and I were part of, I don't think anybody else was part of, well, I brought that up, that as you're posting to social media, does your post spark love, joy, education, whatever it is that you have to have one empowering question. And aside from that, you also need to, for example, I'm talking out of my computer right now. I'm grateful. My computer is doing a wonderful job for me. Just like Martha said, you've got to appreciate the objects that you utilize, whether it's your socks, your clothing, because they're bringing a powerful use that we don't normally recognize. And whatever's coming into our possession and into our use for whatever business or investment or relationship that we have, it brings a source to the link that is needed to get accomplished whatever it is in our lives. So this is pretty much it for tidying. Tidying, very good book. I highly recommend it, that if you have an organized situation at home, that's where you should start with it. And eventually you'll find that it also assists with your business. It assists with these things right here, with my calendar. I think we spoke about that last week. With money, sometimes you just have money left and right, and you don't know how to organize it or where to put it. Specializing. I'm a specialist in a few things, but I picked one because I had this talk with my mentor Chris from a few years ago, and I'm sticking to that one. And now in 2022, I'm starting to go into the next specialization, which is health, which I've known for a while, but I'm just starting out little by little. Work job. Sometimes you have 2 or 3 jobs. Why do you need to have 2 or 3 jobs? Make the choice, stick to one until you develop the other side of you, which is your business, right? Stick to it until you develop your business, or maybe you're happy at your job and you don't need anything else. Speaking. Sometimes we're afraid to speak. Just speak for 1 minute, 2 minutes, record it to yourself, listen to it and see if that makes sense to you. Make that choice, do it. And if you're not ready to post anywhere, don't post. Just look at them until you're ready to post. That's all I can do, is tell you, make the choice so that you can grow as you're tidying yourself. Sometimes we forget to tidy ourselves. How about health? Most people forget about health. Very important. But then reality is, it doesn't matter what age you are now. Kids can get arthritis. They can get cancer. They can get asthma. They can get psoriasis, eczema. Do you want me to continue? They can get constipation. They can get other ailments that were not mentioned 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's shocking. But we know that we can trace it back to a lot of the chemicals that we're accustomed to on a daily basis. And that's the reality. And that's where health kicks in for me. Money, as I said before, make the choice. Do you spend? Do you save? Do you invest? Do you give? Do you enjoy? There are many options with money. There's many options with everything. Tidying, this is it for tidying. I want to say that next week we're going to be going over a very important book, which we're going to discuss once we stop this recording with our mastermind group here. What is this book? Think and Grow Rich. But we'll talk about that one next week as we review our audio book on Napoleon Hill next week. Take care, everyone.